Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols. I'm here to bring you your Nichols Worth, and today from Steadfast Publishing we have the inside column reference in Goatskin. So let's take a look at this absolutely beautiful Bible. We're also going to address some issues that some people have had, and we're going to see if that's a universal problem or maybe it's just specific to a small run of them. But as you can see, this Goatskin is absolutely gorgeous. It's floppy, it's nice. This is a big Bible. This is a thick Bible. It's 10.5 inches tall, and it's about just a little over 7 inches wide. Now that is including the yap. The text block is going to be a little bit smaller, and it is about 2 inches thick. It does have some really nice raised hubs on the spine. I love how it encases Holy Bible, leaves some nice room for that LSB logo, and then has the Steadfast Bibles on the bottom. I really like this design on the spine. 3 really nice ribbons. I don't know what the brand is. They feel like sort of a Vatten ribbon. They're definitely not Beresford's, but they're high quality ribbons. When you get to the gilding, there are a couple little spots. There's nothing on the bottom. There's nothing really on the side, but on the top you can see just a tad of a blemish there where it was applied. Probably when it was sprayed on, something went wrong there. It's not a big deal, but it's probably just something with my edition. When you get to the liner, this is where this thing really shows off. Check this out. I love like this herringbone look on the perimeter gilt line. Really beautifully done corners, really good sewing. Everything just looks really nice on this. The edge line tab is nice and thick to really compensate for this being a big Bible. If I had a really tiny edge line, it would maybe struggle to hold together. Now here's an issue that's been going on with this edition, and with mine I don't feel this is a problem. We have your end sheet here that's been glued and edge line tabbed, and then you have a couple extra end sheets, and then when it meets the text block, this has been separating. But see, this one has a little extra glue here. Now according to Steadfast, that issue only affected about 8% of the Bibles they produce. This one, no problem. This glue has been put in. This is fine. Some people have said because the Oxford Hollow is a problem, they've reassured me that that is not the issue. Also in the back, when you get to the maps, the same thing. The text block would tend to separate right here, but they've got extra glue kind of reinforcing it. So in my edition, everything seems good. I've opened it several times. So now let's look at this beautiful layout. This is a verse-by-verse layout. The verses are all on the outer margin. There's not a lot of margin space, but that's not really what this is designed for. What really makes this layout stand out and what makes everyone go crazy about this edition is the fact that the references and the notes are in the inner column. Your references are going to be toward the top. Your notes are going to be toward the bottom. So when you get to the bottom and you see those notes, it's a good, nice little separation, and you have some margin space here. But what that does is that pulls this text out of that gutter, so there's absolutely no chance of that text sneaking down to the gutter and being kind of difficult to read. This one is an indexed edition, and it also is beautifully art gilded with that red. I really love a premium Bible that has really nicely done tabs. Those tabs look beautiful. They're cut out beautifully. Look how perfectly those cutouts are. There's no jagged edges or anything like that. This is really, really well done. So with that said, let's move into the poetic settings in the Psalms. And you're going to see that they are right justified. So it's going to create a jagged look here. But ultimately, I think it looks really nice. And one way they address paragraphs. How can you find paragraphs when it comes to a verse-by-verse format? Some use pilcrows. What they decided to use is a bold verse number. So whenever you see a bold verse number just like that, you know that we are starting a new paragraph. So let's move into the New Testament and take a look at how that is. The words of Christ are in black in this edition. It also has red accents, which are really sharp. I love really dark burgundy red accents. This has a very generous yap as well, as I'll show you. But let's get on past the text, and I'm going to show you some of the extra features that this has in the back. All right, it's going to have the standard stuff that you're used to in most Bibles. This is going to convert your monetary units. This is going to convert your weights and measurements. And of course, it's going to have your Legacy Standard Bible Concordance. Now that is a small font for a concordance, but this is an 11-point font on 40 GSM paper, and it is line matched. So if you're going to get it right in the Bible. And that's one thing they did, is they got it right in the Bible. I'm willing to compromise on the concordance being small, although I would rather it be a little bit larger. Now when you get past the concordance, of course I showed you earlier, it's going to have your Legacy Standard maps, and then closing out with your edge line tab and your animal skin liner. So with this thing open, let's just take a look at it overhead. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful overhead view. It's got the perfect amount of yap for a Bible this size. So when you close it up, You can look and you can see it's got a very healthy amount of yap. On a Bible this size, I really don't like a full yap because it just looks a little too sloppy. This is a perfect amount of yap all the way around. Really well done. This is printed in Korea, as is some of your Lockman text are printed in Korea. So Korea seems to have a pretty good standard of their things holding up. I know there's been some issues here and there, but it seems to only be affecting a few, and it certainly doesn't affect mine. So there you have it. Keep calm, Jesus on. This is your nickel's worth. If you happen to have an LSB inside column reference that has fallen apart, they are able to do two things for you. Number one, if you've not written in it, then you are free to send it back and they will send you a replacement. But if you've written in it, you're kind of attached to your notes, they actually can offer to repair that for you, but it does take a few weeks. So you might want to check that option out.